Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to my channel. This is my first acrylic pour that I'm doing on my YouTube channel that may or may not work. So I'm going to do something really simple today. I have teal, purple, and gold that I'm going to be mixing with white. And I have titanium white and jet black. And you'll see what I'm going to be using those for here in a second. So I'm going to start off with metallic white, pour a little bit in. It's important to pour it on the side there. That's how I do it anyway. And I usually alternate between dark and light. So I'm going to do purple, gold. This is a really nice vivid jade. Then a little bit of white. White gives it some definition, and this is metallic white. So then I'm going to go back to the purple, to the gold, and to the vivid jade. Actually, that didn't work out. That paint hadn't been shook, so there you go. And a little bit of white on top. Now, how I do these is I turn them, flip them, let it sit for 30 seconds. That's what they all say, 30 seconds. So I'm going to let that sit. I'm going to put the tops back on my paint because I'm a little bit OCD and I like everything to be organized when I'm painting. So that's just sitting there doing its own thing for 30 seconds. I'm going to surround it with titanium white paint. This is not metallic. Give this a shake, because if you don't do this, the paint just kind of rolls over itself, and you want to have like a nice base for it to like roll onto. You'll see what happens when I get this going. Like, I think it's been 30 seconds. So I have a large push pin here, and I'm going to put 2 holes in this, okay? When you're doing this, make sure that you hold the cut down, because you don't want any of that paint releasing until hey, let's put 3 in just for fun before it does its thing. So here you go. This is really awesome what happens here. I'm just going to stand back and watch it all happen. I have used no silicone in this. You can see the cells are starting to pop. You can like tip it around. Just gonna let that do its thing. I didn't prep my canvas. I just poured right onto it because this is a really cool technique. Now this is blowtorch. It's a very well loved blowtorch. As you can tell, it's covered in paint. It's a butane. And I use this to pop the bubbles. Really important to do this. Try not to set the house on fire. You can see, I don't know whether you can see, there's some pretty awesome cells developing here. And now that I think most of my paint is out, I'm going to lift this very slowly and tip it off to this edge. There you go. I am going to save this because sometimes there's a tiny bit of paint in it that I might use. So again, I'm going to go at this with the gun. Lots and lots of cells here today. Now the important part is tipping. And this is something that you have to master over time, because you can really destroy a painting. And I've destroyed many by tipping it incorrectly. So this is still kind of developing a little bit, but I am going to start tipping it. You can see, because I have the paint here, it's not rolling over itself. What I do is I like to get it in every corner before I do anything that's going to involve paint slipping off the canvas. Now I use ready to pour paints quite often because it's really easy and it's a time saver. If you just want to do a painting really quickly, you can just, see I'm losing paint here now. You can just come down to wherever your art space is and you can knock something out real quick. This isn't rocket science. Look at those lovely cells. So I tipped it over this corner up here. So now I'm going to proceed to the other corner. You want to make sure that your paint is the right consistency, not an issue with sorry, I'm turning away from you, ready to pour paint. Because if it's too thick, it'll crack once it's dried. Once I have all the corners covered, then I can kind of manipulate the paint to get it exactly how I want it. And I'm almost at that point now. Yep, I'm there. So here is what I am working with now. There's some really nice veins here and everywhere really that I'm going to stretch out. So you can kind of see everything shifting down here. I like this, so I want to keep that. So I'm going to tip it this way a little bit. I was told that these are Mardi Gras colors by somebody yesterday. Oh, we're just gonna go ahead and ignore that. You can see the metallic. I've used just metallic paints in this today that have a really great sheen. Just gonna take my gloves off and silence this claw. Now I'm gonna take the blowtorch to it. Get a lot of really nice effects when you use the blowtorch. Just be careful that you don't set anything on fire. I always have a big thing of water there just in case. Haven't had to use it yet, but there's going to be a first time, I'm sure. And I would also recommend, if you have like dodgy lungs, wear a mask when you're doing this, because there is some fumes. I'm still a respiratory therapist, but I retired a few years ago due to spinal fusions and lovely stuff like that. So just be careful when you're doing this because you don't want to irritate your lungs. I think that's just about it right there. Didn't get this corner over there, but one thing you learn, maybe I can get it, art is never going to be perfect. You're never going to get perfect results. Just going to try and get that corner. Okay, I'm going to leave it now. A little bit more of this. This is my first video. I just wanted to just show you a quick pour and how easy this is. Now I have crushed glass in black and lilac and green that I do use for my pours that I really like. I think I'm the only person I know that actually does add crushed glass, and I add it when it's wet. I'm not going to add any to this, I don't think, I'm not sure, because I think it's pretty nice as it is. Sometimes you just got to leave stuff alone, and when you get into this mode of painting, it is hard. It's a learning curve. You've got to know when to walk away, and you've got to know when to put the blowtorch down, and you've got to know when to stop adding stuff. Now, if I was going to add glass, I would probably add it here. Now this paint will develop over the next hour or two, and if I go off and do something and come back, it's probably going to look quite different. Not too much, but things like develop. So what you see here may not be the finished product. It's Fat Tuesday, so this is my Mardi Gras painting. It's pretty easy. Have a ton of paint in here. So there you have it. There's my pretty easy acrylic pour. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you'll get updates as I do these. I will only be posting good ones. Sometimes I do pours that are really bad and I don't post them. So yeah, so that's it, and hope everybody has a fabulous Tuesday. Thanks for watching.